Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the background noise. My washing machine is running like always, but I wanted to hop on here and say thank you for joining me for another What's for Dinner video, and that I'm collabing with Sarah Marie this week so that you guys can get even more dinner ideas. I'm telling y'all, if you have not checked out her channel before, you are missing out. She is so amazing and easily one of my favorites. She has a wide variety of content on her channel, and I just love all of it because she has the most bubbly personality that always puts me in a better mood. And I just seriously adore her, and I think that you guys will too. So there will be links to her channel as well as her video down below in my description box. Head on over there, show her some love, and let her know that I sent you. Now let's go ahead and jump on into my week of dinners. So starting on Monday, I made a really simple and quick Korean ground beef. This was my first time making this recipe. So I of course started by browning up 1 pound of ground beef, and I wanted to throw in this clip of how I drain my meat because I get questions on that sometimes and it's been a while since I've showed it. So basically I just pour my ground beef into this strainer that I have placed over top of a bowl so that all of it can run down into the bowl, and then I take a paper towel and just wipe down my skillet, and then once that grease has cooled down, I just scrape it into the trash. Super simple. So now that I have added my ground beef back to my pan, I'm also going to be adding in some minced garlic as well as some ground ginger. You could of course use fresh if you wanted to, but I rarely cook with it, so I didn't want to buy it just for this one recipe. But I'm just going to saute that garlic around for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to get started on this sauce. So all that is some light brown sugar, some soy sauce. You could use low sodium if you wanted to, but I didn't. You're also going to need some sesame oil and some crushed red pepper flakes. I definitely added a little more than what I wanted to, but it's all good. So I just took out my whisk and I just gave that a quick little mix, making sure that I really broke up all of that brown sugar, and then I just dumped that on into my skillet, making sure that I scrape every little bit out, and I'm just going to stir that to coat all of the beef, and then I'm going to simmer it for a bit until it looks like this. I know that it doesn't look like anything special, but this was so good and so flavorful. I was impressed. I just served it over top of some rice, and then I topped it with some of the sesame seeds and some dried chives since I don't like the fresh green onions. I had every intention of serving this with some steamed asparagus on the side. I bought it. I thought I put it in my fridge, but I literally could not find it. It is still a mystery. I have no idea where it went to, but this was the perfect end to a hectic Monday. On Tuesday, for our meatless meal of the week, I made an Instant Pot broccoli and cheese soup. So for the ingredients, you are going to, of course, need some broccoli. You'll need about 4 cups chopped up. I'm also going to be using some of these matchstick carrots, some reduced sodium chicken broth. I'm also going to be shredding up half a block of this sharp cheddar cheese and this block of Parmesan cheese. I'll need some minced garlic, some heavy whipping cream, some onion powder, and some cornstarch, and then, of course, some salt and pepper to taste. So here is another meal that's not the prettiest to look at, but it was delicious. We love the flavor, and I love how quick it cooked. I do prefer my stovetop version better, but if I was in a pinch for a time, I would definitely make this recipe again in the Instant Pot. And I just served that with some of these Sister Schubert dinner rolls that you find in the freezer section. You just pop them in your oven. They are one of our favorites. My only complaint about this soup is I wish that it was a tad bit thicker, and I could have got it there if I worked with it for a little bit longer, but honestly, I was in a hurry. With my daughter starting school, things are a bit hectic right now, but it's okay. On Wednesday, I tried a new recipe for a chicken bacon Caesar pasta. So to my pan, I have just been heating up some olive oil, and then I added in my chicken. So this is just 2 chicken breasts that I have cut in half to make 4 thinner pieces, and I have just seasoned both sides with some salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to cook each side for a few minutes until it is completely cooked through, obviously. And then I'm going to take those and just remove those to a separate plate. And I'm going to cover those with tin foil so that they'll stay warm. And then I'm going to take my spatula and kind of scrape up all those bits on the bottom so that they don't burn. And then I'm going to be adding in some bacon. This is about 4 slices that are thick that I have just cut up with some scissors. And you just cook that to your liking. We like ours really crispy. And then I remove that to a paper towel lined plate. And you are going to want to save about 2 tablespoons of that bacon grease. Meanwhile, I am also boiling some angel hair pasta, and I'm going to get started on the sauce at the same time. So to that bacon grease, I just sauteed up some minced garlic, and then I'm going to deglaze the pan with some chicken broth. And then I know this sounds crazy, but you're going to add in a whole bottle of this Caesar dressing. I know I was skeptical about this too, but just trust me. You're just going to combine that in with the chicken broth and the garlic and all the good stuff, and you're going to simmer that for a few minutes, and then you are going to add in your pasta. And it's going to seem really soupy at first. I was thinking, oh no, what did I do wrong? But it thickened up super quick. That pasta absorbs the liquid. And then I am going to take some Parmesan cheese, shred it up, and add that over the top. I'm also going to be taking the juice of half of a lemon and adding that. And then I'm just going to stir all that to combine, and it is done. Pretty easy. So here it is all plated up. I just topped it with some of that bacon and some of the sliced chicken and some parsley, and I served it with some roasted zucchini on the side. I did not know what to expect from this recipe, but we loved it. Even my kids, who are pretty picky, clean their plates. I was super shocked because this does have a different and strong flavor, but if you love Caesar dressing, you're going to like this. On Thursday, I made some crock-pot beef fajitas. So for the beef, I'm using a chuck roast. This is a little under 2.5 pounds, and I'm just going to slice it up and throw it on into my pot. I did try to slice it thinly, but I got a little lazy with it, and they kept getting bigger and bigger, but it's no big deal. I'm also going to be taking a red and green bell pepper and slicing those up. Fun fact, I have never bought or used peppers in a recipe before. We are not pepper eaters, but I'm trying to branch out in the vegetable department. So if I'm not slicing these right, don't get too offended. I'm also going to be taking a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies or rotel and adding that on the top, or you could use salsa. I'm also going to be adding a packet of this fajita seasoning mix. You could, of course, make your own if you are not a lover of packets, but I don't mind. And I'm just going to stir all that together quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to cook mine on high for 2.5 hours. To go along with this, I'm also going to be making some Mexican rice. This is the same recipe that I have made over and over and over again. It's just something that we all enjoy, especially the kids. They always request this. They love it. I have an older recipe video on this. If you are interested, I can have it linked down below. It is a tried and true family favorite. Now back to the crock pot. Here is what it looked like after it was done cooking. As you can see, there is a lot of liquid in it, but it's no biggie. Just be sure to serve it with a slotted spoon. So here is my plate. I served it on some warmed up tortillas and topped it with some cheese and sour cream. Also made some refried beans on the side, and someone recently suggested down in the comments to mix in some sour cream and cheese when you're heating up your refried beans, and it seriously took it to a whole nother level. I will never make them any other way, and those beef fajitas were perfect. This meal was amazing. So here lately, we have been having a few cooler days, which has put me in the mood for fall and holiday food. So I figured, why not make a holiday-inspired meal? So I bought a ham. I have never made one like this before. It was a boneless half spiral ham, and I literally just followed the directions on the back of the package. So I placed it in a pan, covered it tightly with foil, and popped it in my oven. This particular one took 30 minutes, but it will, of course, be different for every size of ham. Here it is after the 30 minutes. I'm just kind of fanning out those slices, and then I'm taking out my little brush thing and basting all of those juices all over the top and sides. And then I'm taking the seasoning packet that it came with and just sprinkling it all over, being sure to get in between the slices as well. I have my broiler on preheat, and then I'm going to pop it in for about 5 minutes. Let's ignore my Christmas oven mitt and my Halloween gown. Don't judge. But here it is out of the oven. How pretty does that look? If I was serving it to some guests, I'd probably make it cute with like some pineapple and cherries like people do, but it's just us. To go along with this, I also made some candied yams. So I'm starting off with 2 good-sized sweet potatoes that I have peeled and chopped into pieces. These were an absolute pain to chop up. It took everything in me. Thank goodness for that time-lapse feature. Took forever, but after I got them finally chopped up, I placed them into a baking dish, and then I got started on the glaze part. So to some melted butter, I just threw in some brown sugar and regular white sugar, dissolved that in quickly, and then I added in some spices. I believe it was some ground ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon, and then also some vanilla extract. I'm just going to quickly combine that and then let that come up to a simmer and turn it off the heat. That was it. I'm just going to pour that over top of the sweet potatoes, and that is going to be covered with some tin foil. I'm going to pop that in my oven at 350 degrees for 40 minutes, and then I'm going to take the foil off, rotate the dish. Don't really know why, but that's what the recipe said to do, and I'm going to let that finish baking for an additional 40 minutes. They are straight out of the oven. That glaze really thickened up and clung perfectly to the potatoes. They were tender, and my house smelled amazing, just like fall time, which is what I wanted. Here's everything tied together. That ham was cooked perfectly. It was juicy. The candied yams were my absolute favorite thing that I cooked all week. I also made some green beans, shells and cheese, and some deviled eggs. This was hands down my favorite meal of the week. Lastly, on Sunday, we had a super busy day, which meant Taco Bell in the car. Nothing wrong with that. But that is going to wrap up this week. Don't forget to go and check out Sarah's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.